After the funeral, my wife and children stayed with his family. That's how close we are. And unfortunately, I had to leave town. I'm driving to the airport, depressed, down, and as I'm getting on the plane, I don't mean to get too spiritual here, but when tragedies like this happen, we have a tendency to ask why. As I'm getting on the plane, I am just so depressed that I have to be gone for about 3 days, and I just say a prayer. I say, God, I am so down, so depressed. You've got to send me somebody that can give me some encouragement. Well, I kid you not. 30 seconds after I said that prayer, as I'm getting on the plane, I go back to my seat, and there seated right beside me is a priest. I can tell because he's got a collar on. I don't know about you folks, but I'm not kidding, man. Goosebumps jumped over my arm. I knew I was in the presence of a miraculous event. And I sat down and I looked him right in the eyes and I said, I can't tell you how glad I am to see you. And he looked back in my eyes and I promise you, here's what he said. Sorry, no speak English. If I thought I was depressed beforehand, I was so depressed I had to listen to my own motivational tapes. And I tell you that not at all to be sacrilegious, but to admit the fact that our prayers are not always answered, at least not in the way that we want them to. Life can be tough, it can be hard, it can be tragic. There are many things that happen in which there are no answers. Teddy Roosevelt, on the same night, as a young man, he's 25 years old, on the same night, lost both his mother and his wife. They both died of different diseases, hours apart, both of them literally dying in his arms. The following morning in his diary, he wrote, "The light of my life has gone out. It will never, never be relit." And yet some years later, in that same diary, he wrote, "Despite the tragedies I have been through, I have discovered that life is a joy for those with a heart to demand it." Being in your business is a joy for those with a heart to demand it. The opportunities that are there are just mind-boggling. And you are in a position to take advantage of it. It's said one of the wisest people who ever lived was King Solomon. I think he said it all when he said, "As we think in our hearts, so shall we be." You folks have been a really good crowd this morning. I want you to do this. When you go back home, I want you to keep on doing the thing that you have been doing. And that is, keep on feeding that white dog. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.